These are Phoenix Contact Sunclicks connectors, and if you have an inverter which was made before spring 2023, it's likely that these will be the battery connectors on your inverter. So you'll need a positive Phoenix Sunclick connector and a negative connector, and that'll connect your master battery onto your inverter. On the other end of your master battery cables, you'll also have Sunclicks connectors. So these are also made by Phoenix Contact and will plug into the master battery. A positive into the positive and a negative into the negative side. If you want to make master to slave battery cables, on one end of the cable you'll have Phoenix Contact Sunclicks connectors, and on the other end of the cable you'll have 6mm square multi-contact MC4 connectors. And Solax do that so you can't plug the battery cables into the wrong places and the wrong way around when you connect your slave battery. I'm going to start with the positive connector. You can identify that by the positive sign near my thumbnail there. This is the negative connector, and you can see that's got a negative symbol near my thumb there. To put these on, firstly you're going to have to take off the screw at the end. Thread that onto the cable before you start. The cable, it's good quality, heavy duty 6mm solar cable. So you need to make sure it's at least 6mm for the battery terminals. Now 6mm is capable of carrying all the battery power that you need for a Solax inverter. Normally it's rated at a maximum of 30 amps on the inverter, and 6mm cable is capable of carrying more than that. It looks very small, but because the batteries are high voltage, the amperage is fairly low, so the cables don't need to be big. Strip 15mm off the end of the wire that you want to put the terminal on. So I'm just going to do it the old method of rolling it around on a Stanley knife, like that. There we go, and we've got a nice bare wire. Now what we need to do so it doesn't fray is just twist that wire together before we insert it into the connector. These connectors don't require any tools. They're toolless connectors. It just works by friction and clamping. Okay, so take the wire, insert it inside the connector carefully so that the wires don't fray. And then I want you to just keep pushing until the wire emerges just under here. You can see it inside there. The wire comes through to where the clamp is. So if I just point it with the knife, you can see the insulation comes up to here and the 15mm of wire sticks up to the black thread here. Then all you're going to do is squash down the retaining clip until it goes click, and then it's held underneath. And the friction there holds the wire in place and makes a good connection. After that, you need to push the connector together so it all goes inside the main housing. And you need to just push and again until it clicks. And when it clicks, these little clips here engage so it can't come out again. After that, all you need to do is screw the end on. Make sure it's not cross-threaded and just keep turning it until the gap completely closes up, or as near as it can. Now it has a hexagon here, so you can tighten it up with a spanner if you can't tighten it up far enough with your fingers. And it really should be done with a spanner, just gently until it's as tight as it can go. And that's it. That's all there is to putting a Sunclicks connector on a battery cable. So all you'll need here is a Stanley knife to strip the cable and an MC4 crimper, and this one's just about £10. I'm not doing this for a living, so it doesn't need to work all day. and we'll be using the 6mm square crimper at the end here. This is the MC4 connector, and you'll also be needing the part to crimp on. Firstly, I want you to strip approximately 10mm off the end of the battery cable. So I'm just going to roll that around like that and then pull the end off. Like so. And then just gently twist the cables together so that they don't fray. You need to make sure that you put the screw over the cable first, and then take your the part that you're going to crimp, the connector inside. Now I found the best way is to hold it on with your finger like that. So make sure the crimper is the right way around. We're using the 6mm slot. You can see there. Position it in the jaws and then just pull the handles until it won't crimp anymore. And you can see now that that has got a nice crimp around the cable. It's securely fitted and it's ready to be inserted inside the connector. Push that inside the connector until it goes click, and then screw the part on the back. Securing nuts. If you have an MC4 tightening tool, you can use that just to put on the nut there, and that helps you keep hold of it as you tighten it up. Thank you very much for watching. Please see the rest of my videos. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much. I'm going to show you the negative side of the battery cable now. So this is a master to slave battery cable, and I've got a multi-contact 6mm square MC4 connector and a Sunclicks connector. It's also an MC4, but they don't fit standard MC4. So I've got a 2 meter length of cable here. I want to make a 2 meter battery cable. And firstly, you're going to strip off approximately 10mm from the end of the wire. So just take the insulation off, like that, and gently twist together so that it doesn't fray. I'm going to do the Sunclicks connector first. So firstly, take the nut off the end and thread it over the wire. And then you're going to insert this into the middle of the connector. Try not to put it at the edge, otherwise the wire will fray. It's important to see the black insulation appear here and the end of the wire come up to the end of the thread here. If it's gone in properly, push the clip down until it goes click, and then all you're going to do is push the connector into the housing like that. When you're finished, thread the screw at the end on. Just do that up tight, and you can use a tightening tool on the hex at the end if you want to, like an adjustable spanner. And that's all there is to putting a Sunclicks connector on. These are made by Phoenix Contacts, by the way, and Solax use them to connect between their batteries and from the inverter. Now, because this is a master to slave battery cable, on the other end we put a multi-contact MC4. I'm going to do the same again, stripping approximately 10mm from the end. Twist and pull off. Then take the nut off and make sure that you thread the nut over the cable so that you can put it on and tighten it later. Next, hold the part that you're going to crimp onto the end of the wire. Take your crimper and putting this in the 6mm slot because it's a 6mm cable with a 6mm crimp on the end. Squeeze the handles until you can't squeeze anymore, and there we have a nice crimped connector. Insert that into the negative MC4 until it goes click, and then thread the nut onto the end. You can also use, if you've got one, an MC4 spanner to tighten the nut up further until it's tight. So that's 2 battery cables done. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.